Today I'm going to record the steps that you need to take in order to get the data into your calculator and create a linear regression equation for the data that you put in. What I'm doing is I'm taking this handout that I gave you today. This is from page 636 of your textbook, page 642, and we filled in a lot of things in this. And in my second period class, at least, I'm not sure how fourth period is going to go today, we got through this whole entire first page. We got through defining what kind of an R value these are, and we classified up till number 14. And then when we got to number 11, we ran out of time. So I'm going to show you how to do these steps that they want you to about drawing the scatter plot and answering all of these questions. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to refer, now this is the handout from today. Now I'm going to ask you to take out your chapter 15 notes packet and go all the way to page 14. This tells you how or what the, well actually if you're on, I'm sorry, if you're on page 12, this is bigger. This is the calculator steps. And I went over these quickly, but we actually didn't go through them on our calculator, so that's what I'm going to do now. So the first step is to key the two sets of data into L1 and L2 using StatEdit. So here we go with the worksheet number 11, or if you have page 639 in your textbook. So I'm going to press the Stat button and the Edit. And there's no data in here. If there's data, you can clear it out, second plus 712. So what I'm going to do is put the gallons in the X, or the L1, and the miles in the L2. So you can go, if you could please go along with me with the graphing calculator, that would be great. 8.5, 7.6, 9.4, hopefully I won't make a mistake. 8.3, 10.5, 8.7, 9.6, 4.3, 6.1, and 7.8. And then, yes, thank you. And then on L2, we have the miles, 255, 230, 295, 250, 315, 260, 290, 130, 180, 235 in L2. So that was step one. Key the data, the two sets of data in using StatEdit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn StatPlot on so we can look at a scatter plot. So you hit the second y equals button. So second y equals, and StatPlots are off. So we're just going to hit enter and hit enter again, and then that gets highlighted. So now stat plots are on. The next thing we're going to do is press zoom. Zoom button is up in the middle. Zoom. Option 9 is zoom stat because we're doing statistics. So option 9, zoom stat. And then that gives us our scatter plot. Step 4 says turn diagnostics on if it's not already on, and it's not. So we're going to hit the catalog button. Catalog is on above the 0, the blue words. So it's second 0, which is a catalog, which will show you this. And then second 0, second 0 is the catalog, and you're going to scroll down. I'm going to hit the D button, which is this button right here. You see a little green D right there. That'll get you down to the Ds. And if you go all the way down to diagnostics on, you have to hit enter twice when you get diagnostics on. So enter once and enter twice, then it says it's done. So now diagnostics are on. And now we're going to calculate a linear regression. So in order to do that, you're going to hit Stat, Calculate, Option 4, Linear Regression. And your X list, that's the gallons. The Y list is the miles. Please have your frequency list blank because we don't have one in this data. And if you want to store your regression equation into Y1, you can do that. But I'm not going to, well, I'll show you how to do it. We don't do that a lot. If you hit the vars button right here and go over to the Y variables, option 1 function, and if you hit option 1 Y1, what it'll do is it'll store the regression equation that we get out of there in Y1. So then you hit enter twice to calculate it. So this regression equation is y is equal to ax plus b. Well, the a is, we'll round these to the nearest tenth. Y equals 30.7x don't forget the x, and then the b value plus b. Well, this b value is negative, so I'm going to put minus 4.165. Well, that rounds to minus 4.2. Round everything to the nearest tenth, minus 4.2. So we drew the scatter plot. Does this data show a strong positive linear correlation? If you hit the graph, now this is the line of best fit. Well, those data points are very, very close to that line of best fit. So part B says it is strong positive. And we can also get the strong positive from the correlation coefficient. Whoops. If you hit the linear regression, I'll show you what else it has. Don't look at R squared. That has nothing to do with anything that we're going to do this year. But if you see this R equals 0.997, that's the correlation coefficient. That is very, very close to 1. So the R value of 0.997 shows it is a strong positive because it is very close to the maximum value that it can have, which is 1. And it says find R to the nearest thousandth, and that's 3 decimal places. So this is R, that's part D. Let's look at the next one. Jack Sheehan looked through some of his favorite recipes to compare the number of calories per serving to the number of grams of fat. And he wants to know whether the calories per serving is related to the number of grams of fat. So let's figure this out. I'm going to reset my graphing calculator, second plus 712, to get all the data out of there. Stat, edit. And now let's put the calories in, 310, 210, 260, 330, 290, 320, 245, 293, 220, 260, and 350. And then we'll get the grams of fat, which are 11, 5, 11, 12, 14, 16, 7, 10, 8, 8, 15. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on our stat plot. So second y equals, turn the stat plot on. When it gets reset, it got turned off again. And then press zoom, option 9, zoom stat. And this data isn't quite as closely related, it doesn't look like, but we'll see that in a couple minutes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn diagnostics on, so I'll second quit out of that. The diagnostics are from second, 0, catalog, and then I'm going to hit the D button to get down to the D's fast. Whoops, second 0, hit the D button, and go down to diagnostics on. That's been done. And now I'm going to do stat, calculate, option 4, a linear regression. The X list, the Y list, no frequency list. I'm going to store the regression equation in Y1 just for the heck of it. It doesn't really need to be done, but it's fast, so I'll do it. Okay, so this equation says Y equals 0.6, that rounds to 0.1x. So that's the equation. This is y is equal to 0.1x. Oops. Let's see what I'm doing. And then the b value again is negative 7.7 if I round that. So y equals 0.1x minus 7.7. That would be the regression equation. The r value is 0.855. R is equal to 0.855 if you round it. And so that means it is a moderate positive. It's not quite as strong as this, but if you graph this now, and the line of best fit goes right up the middle of that data, and they're a little bit further away, but they're not really that bad. So this is moderate positive. So that's the steps that I need you to do, and I'd like you to go through these two problems, 12 and 16. This is from your textbook, but it's right here, 12 and 16. And then 15 through 17 is exactly like what I asked you to do. Have a good night.